What happens when a car company builds a pure race car, then simply adds headlights and a license plate? You get this, the Porsche 911 GT1 Straßenversion. In the 1990s, Porsche wanted to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans so badly that they created a purpose-built race car. But racing rules said they had to make a street version too. Their solution? Build the absolute minimum number of road cars required by the rules. Just 25 in total. The result is one of the rarest and most extreme Porsches ever made. A literal race car for the road with 544 horsepower, a top speed of 191 miles per hour, and a price tag so high that Porsche lost money on every single one they sold. Today, we're exploring the full story of the Porsche 911 GT1 Straßenversion, the car that blurred the line between race cars and road cars more than almost any vehicle before or since. The story begins in the mid-1990s. Racing at Le Mans had a special category called GT1 that was meant for modified sports cars, not pure race cars. But there was a loophole in the rules that other companies like Mercedes-Benz were already exploiting. The rules said you had to build some road-going versions of your race car, but it didn't say how many or how similar they had to be. This allowed companies to essentially build pure race cars, then make a handful of road versions just to satisfy the rules. Porsche saw what was happening and decided to join in. They had been racing modified versions of their 911 street car, but these couldn't compete with the purpose-built race cars from other teams. So in 1996, they created the 911 GT1, a car that shared almost nothing with the regular 911 except its headlights and name. To qualify for racing, Porsche needed to build road versions, called the Straßenversion, which simply means street version in German. They built just enough to meet the minimum requirements, only about 25 cars in total between 1996 and 1998. The 911 GT1 race car was very successful, winning its class at Le Mans in 1996 and taking overall victory at Le Mans in 1998 with the updated 911 GT 198 version. Unlike most road cars that get modified for racing, the GT1 Straßenversion was a race car modified for the road. Porsche designed the race car first, then figured out how to make it legal for streets afterward. This backward approach created one of the most extreme road cars ever made. The GT1 Straßenversion wasn't built on a normal car assembly line. Each one was essentially hand-built by Porsche's racing department. This is part of why they were so expensive to produce. Porsche actually lost money on each one, despite their high price tag of about $900,000 when new. Making a race car work on public roads was not easy. Porsche had to add things like softer suspension, interior trim, catalytic converters to reduce emissions, and slightly more ground clearance. But they kept these changes to the absolute minimum required by law. The heart of the GT1 Straßenversion is its engine, a 3.2-liter flat six with twin turbochargers, producing 544 horsepower. This engine was mounted in the middle of the car, not at the rear like a normal 911. This mid-engine layout gave better balance and handling for racing. Despite being detuned from the race version, the Straßenversion could still accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.9 seconds and reach a top speed of 191 miles per hour. Incredible performance, even by today's standards. The body of the GT1 Straßenversion is made mostly of carbon fiber, an extremely light and strong material used in race cars and spacecraft. The car has a full carbon fiber monocoque main structure, which was very advanced for a road car in the 1990s. What makes the GT1 truly special is how little was changed from the race car. The aerodynamics, the shapes that help the car cut through the air and stay planted to the ground at high speeds, are almost identical to the race car. It has the same huge rear wing, wide body, and massive air intakes. The transmission is a proper racing gearbox with 6 speeds. It's not designed for comfort or ease of use. It's designed for fast, precise shifting on a racetrack. The clutch is heavy, and the gear changes require skill and strength. Inside, the GT1 Straßenversion is very basic. There's no luxury here, just simple seats, basic controls, and minimal sound insulation. The car has air conditioning and some basic comforts, but it's clearly a race car that's been given just enough features to make it legal for the road. The suspension, while softer than the race car, is still extremely firm. It's designed to keep the car stable at racing speeds, not to provide a comfortable ride. Driving over bumps or rough roads in a GT1 Straßenversion is a jarring experience, but that's part of what makes it authentic. The brakes are massive carbon ceramic discs, technology that was cutting edge in the 1990s and is still used in high-performance cars today. These brakes can stop the car from high speeds repeatedly without fading, which is crucial on a racetrack. Unlike most modern supercars, the GT1 Straßenversion has very few electronic aids. There's no stability control, no traction control, and no ABS brakes on most versions. This means the driver needs real skill to handle the car's power, just like in the race car version. The sound of the GT1 Straßenversion is unforgettable. A combination of whistling turbos and the distinctive flat-six engine note that Porsche is famous for, but louder and more intense. Even with the required mufflers for road use, it sounds like a race car. The Porsche 911 GT1 Straßenversion is one of the rarest production Porsches ever made. With only about 25 built, the exact number varies slightly depending on the source. It's more than 10 times rarer than the already exclusive Porsche Carrera GT. Today, these cars are among the most valuable modern Porsches. When they occasionally come up for auction, they sell for between $5 million and $15 million, depending on the specific car's history and condition. The cars were built in two main versions, corresponding to the 1996 and 1998 race cars. The later versions, sometimes called GT198 Straßenversion, are even rarer, with only a handful built. These later cars have slightly different aerodynamics and minor technical improvements. Most GT1 Straßenversions were painted white, silver, or yellow, though a few were made in other colors for specific customers. Each car was slightly different, as they were essentially hand-built. Many GT1 Straßenversions live in private collections or museums today. They're rarely seen on public roads, both because of their incredible value and because they're not particularly practical for regular driving. Their extreme nature and racing-derived systems mean they require specialized maintenance. The GT1 Straßenversion was part of an amazing era in motorsport that produced several other road-going race cars, including the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR and the Toyota GT1. This period is often looked back on as a golden age, when the connection between race cars and road cars was at its closest. The legacy of the GT1 Straßenversion lives on in Porsche's modern supercars. The Carrera GT and 918 Spider both use technologies and design approaches that can be traced back to the GT1 program. The carbon fiber construction, mid-engine layout, and race-derived aerodynamics all influenced Porsche's later flagship models. The GT1 also represented an important moment in Porsche's racing history. Their overall win at Le Mans in 1998 with the GT198 was their 16th victory at the famous race, extending their record as the most successful manufacturer in Le Mans history. For Porsche collectors, the GT1 Straßenversion represents the ultimate trophy, more exclusive than a Carrera GT, more extreme than a modern 911 GT2 RS, and with direct racing DNA from one of Porsche's most successful race cars. Car magazines and experts regularly include the GT1 Straßenversion on lists of the greatest road cars ever made, not because it's the fastest or the most beautiful, but because it's one of the most authentic race cars ever adapted for road use. The GT1 Straßenversion shows what happens when a company builds a road car with almost no compromises for comfort, cost, or practicality. It's a perfect example of form-following function. Every part of the car is designed to make it faster around a racetrack, with road legality as an afterthought. If you're ever lucky enough to see a GT1 Straßenversion in person, take time to appreciate just how extreme it is. Notice how low it sits to the ground, how wide the tires are, and how the entire body is shaped to manage airflow at racing speeds. Listen for the unmistakable sound of its race-bred engine. What you're looking at isn't just a fast Porsche, It's a literal Le Mans race car with license plates. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed learning about this amazing rare car. Subscribe for more videos about the world's rarest German cars. Let me know in the comments which rare car you want to see next.